All right, we are live at the booth with Brett Wingfield, and he is currently covering efficiency and profit with artificial noses.
And yeah, it's worked a little bit, but you want to make rubber mold everything parts.
Yeah, making parts is just it's always a good idea.
They're finished, I made molds for some of them. And I've made molds for
Sure. Yeah.
And then they got a windpipe on it.
Yeah.
Well, you can't just sit that thing in there like that, pull rubber on it. You get some rubber.
Yep.
Coated it so fairly thick, real thick. Cuts. That's it.
That'd be a good place to put it.
Yeah, and you only got one thing you got to line up, and I took some PVC, split it, and then cut it, tapered it, put it together, and that's what I use. Make those
Mother
right around
mold,
and
yeah.
hold it. What's I just form a cut and turn it into a cut. You know,
There's always something, you know. We do this quite a bit. I mean, we're re-pouring and molding and making new stuff, and every single day there's something that kind of dawns on you, and there's like, I wonder if I could, I wonder if I could do this.
make it better.
Yeah. So
That's,
it's a process.
I'd rather do that kind of stuff and make things than actually mount things.
I know.
Trying to figure out how to make something that's better than it works.
Yep.
And it
works.
looks good.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, I've got a project I had in my head for 25 years. It's just now.
Yeah.
It's totally different. Nobody has it works.
Well, those are those precious little ideas that sometimes it takes.
And it's concerning earbuds.
Oh.
It's
That's
something
everybody's.
everybody has
Yeah. Everybody's gonna gain from that one. Well, hopefully that's in research and development soon.
Well, I've got it figured out. It's right now. I just now got to just put in make different earbuds.
Sure.
Molds. My problem is hold the weekend.
Yeah.
It might be a month before we get back working on the same one. And I'll kind of
Well, we try to make stuff easier when we can, where we can easier on ourselves, because we're going to use this. We're going to use it over and over and over again. We may as well not.
well, if you're going to use, this is what I always look at. If you don't like something, make it the very best you can. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to get it there. Try to make something that somebody else can beat. They got it.
Harder than you looked at it, which hopefully was pretty hard. Yeah.
One mold case. A piece of junk or something that you know that has problems.
In the long run, it's just going to give you sell it, that person buys it. They have even more problems, especially the new person.
Yeah.
And now that just gives you the bad name.
You're going to have to troubleshoot it for them, repeatedly. It's just one of those things that, it's going to come back.
Exactly.
Especially, we use the stuff that we are making on it.
And you know what, how it works.
So why make it hard on ourselves?
Explain to me why. What's the benefits?
So the reason
I'm going to see what you say. All right. And then it won't be wrong, I'm sure.
no, I'm sure it will be. And what I was going to do was going to give, when I cut this one off, we like to have some nostril detail for our customer. We try to set our pieces apart a little bit from the local guy who's just tucking. So for me to take this, not necessarily cut off, but this on the mannequin, and make it look like this, even within a commercial resemblance of that, I'm going to have a whole bunch more time in this, probably 30, 35 minutes in sculpting both of those nostrils.
You can't grind that foam out from the front and make it like it should be. Because you'll be going through the septum.
Yep.
Because you
get
can't
it
go
too
and
in
cut all
there.
that side off.
We cut these little wings off a little bit too much.
And then the worst part is, then you got to go back and fix it. If you're going back in and fixing it, symmetry is such a deal. With a cast part that we've spent, hopefully, we've spent the time on the symmetry once and really worked the symmetry so that you're going to be consistent. Your look is consistent. Your use is consistent. We've given, on this nose, we've got a little tuck line, and when I do my prep work for that tuck, I know where that is, so I know how much skin I'm going to use every time. And so once you develop that kind of as a habit, I can do the prep work on this nose, and then my finish work is nearly minimal because my upper side I tuck up, and I'll leave long. I'll tuck that skin up and out of the way so you can't see where it ends.
Same thing on the back corner.
Yeah. Yep.
You have nothing to blend in.
Yep.
Separate there where that little break is,
Yep.
and you butt your skin up against it and
And so-
commercialize.
Yep.
So you're teaching a new person, let's me, because I've only mounted 2 animals with this. Because hey, this is the next best, not necessarily the next best thing, but it gives more detail. Like you said, that's my stuff that the neighbor does. So the problem I have, because I'm new, is where do you cut to get that brown? Cut your skin to get that flavor. Is there a certain, like where the hair starts?
That's where we put it. Was right where the hair ends. And that, the reason I went in and shaved on the hairline is because when I finish with epoxy, I don't want a whole bunch of epoxy in the hair. So it's just past the hairline, and you can texture it with a brush really easy. It nearly goes away. I have done it further in. Sometimes I've had a really good septum or really good inner nostril skin, and I've left it long, but it tends to close down that opening. So you get a little less bare on the side, but your finish work is less. I think, and we've kind of run this gamut several times, and we have found this to be a real nice tuck line. It's or within a small distance. Now you can take a little Dremel tool and bump that off if you want. Bump it further in if you want to leave a little more skin, but that is just past the tip.
All right, we will catch you guys a little later.